Okay, so, throat chakra stuff is happening right now. So, today was interesting. It's very interesting. I have an account on OfferUp. I've used OfferUp for years. It's always worked like magic for me to simply just post something online for sale, and within a week's time it's gone and you've made money. It's a very quick thing and very reliable, at least until recent days. So today's event really brought me into awareness of so much, and I'm always choosing to see the lessons whenever I feel uncomfortable or unsafe. If I feel like I'm questioning myself, I've learned to really lean in and hold space for those weird, awkward moments where you're just not certain, or something's not making you feel good, and maybe perhaps you don't know why. But by holding space for it and giving it room to breathe, you begin to just watch it unfold versus forcing an outcome or a reaction or a reasoning. There doesn't need to be a right or a wrong. There just needs to be an understanding. And for you to hold such a space for yourself while dealing with this shadow aspect of you, going into that state of uncertainty, stickiness, uncomfortability, lack, insecure, fearful, shameful, guilt, all of those low vibrational energies, instead of choosing to hold on to just the negative attribute that it's making you feel, lean into the sensitivity of it and ask yourself, well, why? Why am I feeling this way? You get a lot of answers there if you just give it some time to listen. And today I had posted a few things on OfferUp. I am selling majority of my home belongings and my clothing as I'm minimalizing and making some big changes in my life here coming up soon. And for me to feel safe while selling these things is definitely something that I am needing. And even though I've been doing this for years with the trauma that I've experienced, having to do with the toxic masculinity and sex and abuse, this really hit home for me today as this gentleman, I don't want to call him a gentleman now, but I'm going to be neutral about the situation, or I'm learning to be, messaged me regarding a few of my home goods and said that he'd be by around noon to pick them up. So I always have them meet me outside of my garage. They never know where my apartment is, but considering I live in an apartment complex and the fact that I have several things that I'm selling, you know, for me to walk it or take it to the front is a lot more work for me. So I have people meet me behind the certain building where my garage is. And I've done this so long. I've been a very, very independent woman for a majority of my life, and so this kind of shit just doesn't bother me. It doesn't worry me. I never have a worry about it. And so this gentleman, he's walking through my garage as I'm showing him other things that are for sale, and you know, he's taking things. He collected quite a few items, and then he sees my bin of clothes, and he was on his phone, and I assumed it was with his wife or girlfriend, and he said, do you have any sexy dresses? And I said, oh, is this for your wife? And he said, yeah. So it's like, oh, that's so sweet. Like, a man buying his woman clothes. Like, that's really considerate. That's really nice. So I held that into consideration, because I know if like I had someone buying me clothes. Like, I really actually care what the clothes look like. Like, I don't know if that's super just shallow Libra me, or like I just really appreciate fashion, but I am very particular. So I held that into consideration. I was asking him questions. Well, like, what's her size and like her style, and I was holding up things, like being, I don't know, being me. Fuck, naive, maybe? I don't know. I'm still going through this process. And for me to go out of my way and to kind of extend myself that way, it's a very natural thing for me to do. I like to make people feel comfortable. I like to give people a good experience. A lot of what I've done, through my education and career and just work line is a lot of just service. I like to serve people, and I like to serve humanity, and I like to just do good things for people. I'm just fucking nice, okay? And so then he asked me if I had a picture of any of the clothing, because he wanted to see it, like, on a body. And, I was like, oh, that's, like, really nice. Like, he actually is caring about what these dresses look like. So I said no, and he goes, well, will you try them on and take a picture and put it on OfferUp? So I was like, I really don't want to. I was really greasy, and I was, like, kind of, like, masculining my shit up. Like, I was cleaning and moving shit and I stepped into my masculine this morning. I did not want to try to look sexy, as he would like to describe it. And so that was my cue, was to trust what I wanted to do. And I did not want to do that, but because I'm basically desperate to get rid of my shit, I'm like, okay, sure, like, I'll just do this. And so I go upstairs and I take a few photos. Those are the ones that I had posted on my stories. However, it wasn't that video that I had posted. I had just taken a photo in a mirror, so it wasn't anything of even, like, me moving. So anyway, I posted them, and he said, I want to see these dresses on you. Can I come in? And I said, no. And he says, I want to buy them for you. Not from me, for me. I'm trying to sell my dresses. I don't want these dresses. I want money for the dresses. But no, I'm not wearing these in front of you. And I just said no. And he said, well, it's too bad because you're really sexy. Okay, I understand. But at what point did that become extremely inappropriate? Just because a woman is sexy means you can just say anything? Where is your conscience? Where are your thoughts taking hostage of your sovereignty? How is it you become that quickly to attach yourself to another individual at such a sacred level, mind you, that has been completely just warped, and act like it's okay? Okay, so as this first happened, I didn't take it to this level. I didn't. I laughed about it. I kind of freaked out. I got a little worried. I closed my garage door. I locked it, and I sat behind the door, and I just kind of, like, chilled out for a minute, and I called into my, guys, and I was just like, I don't like to feel this way. My guys then immediately said, are you learning? And I said, oh, I'm listening. And they told me to not gaslight myself and to not bypass what just happened, because it happens all the time. Now, I've had my fair share of experiences with toxic masculinity and taking over my energy as if it's okay. Similar to the situation, only in my experiences it's been more along the lines of sexual molestation and attempted rape. But with this, I immediately felt those same symptomatic feelings, stressors, warning signs, all of it, I embodied again. And I realized it doesn't matter how much you heal it. What matters is your approach to change the current situation so you don't repeat those patterns anymore. You don't allow yourself to receive what it is this individual is projecting at you. That is a bypassing moment when you allow their projection to hinder you, and then you carry it on, and then they move about their day without any hindrance or worry on their end. I mean, karma's a bitch, sure, but as far as, the one who's claiming victim, where are you still allowing your power to be given away because of that projection from the other energy? This is what I learned. It was so big. I had to meditate. I did not feel good. I had to go inside. I had to take a cold shower. I had to reset my nervous system because my body went into fight or flight. And my mind was okay. I could talk myself out of what I was experiencing. But because my guys were like, "Are you listening? Are you listening?" I was like, "Okay, I am now." That was my opportunity to really stand up, go outside, face that fucking demon, and tell him where the sun don't shine. Or tell him where to go where the sun don't shine. Whatever the fucking saying is. To speak your truth. I didn't speak my truth. I withheld because I didn't want to seem over dramatic or like it was a big deal. But it was a big deal. That's the thing. Is at what point do we continue to take on so much trauma and reminders of our trauma and those triggers and those projections, and we continue to become desensitized to it when really we should lean into the sensitivity of those small events that conspire between the people around you. It doesn't matter whether they're family, friend, or you've just met them from OfferUp the one time. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you're in the now and you're changing your reality in that current situation. You are not bypassing. You are not becoming passive. You take on that energy and now it's yours. What are you going to do with it? That's basically what my guys were yelling at me about. And they're completely right. I didn't fuck up. That's not holding neutral. That's then blaming myself. But I didn't fuck up. But I didn't stand in my power. I didn't stand in my light. And then those messages I continue to get on OfferUp. I've received messages in these past couple of weeks on Instagram pertaining to some of the content that I'm now posting. If you're thinking that I'm posting this content to expose myself for egoic purposes and to fulfill my ego and to feel good or feel desired or any of that shit, that's not it at all. What my guides are now expressing to me is that I'm going down this line of work because these were my deepest traumas, not just in this lifetime, but in previous lifetimes. My sexual trauma. I have endured lifetimes of amounts of sexual trauma, and in this lifetime, I was meant to rise above it. And by doing so, it's by illuminating every single ideal, thought, action, projection, anything that I am being surrounded by, I'm being asked to illuminate it into truth. And to bring sex and the sacred element of what it's meant to be back into this earth life. And this is a huge growing process for me. This is unfolding and unpacking a lot more of my own traumas, not just of this lifetime, but of previous lifetimes that I'm very well aware of. However, learning how to heal sexual trauma from past lifetimes is a little bit different than were if it to happen in this lifetime, which I have. So it kind of gets a little intermeshed, but there's layers to it, much like a spiritual awakening. So this is a very long video. It's a lot longer than I anticipated, but my guides they're really pushing me to make these leaps of faith, to illuminate the path of sex and sensuality and embodiment and sexual trauma and how integrated it is into all of us, we just don't realize. And how truly important this work is. It's not about shame and guilt and oppression. It's more about liberation and connecting to source again, connecting to God. As you know, sex is truly the highest state of vibrant frequency that we all have the ability to obtain. But we've been conditioned with conformity and oppression and silence of things that have conspired to us as children that we were groomed about. We were gaslit. I was a groomed child. My grandfather sexually molested me for 4 years, and I told my parents about it, and nothing was done. And so I continued to be suppressed in that way. I was energetically taught that's how you receive love. I was energetically taught this is what I'm worthy of. I'm worthy of my light, my innocence, my life being taken from me. So I was learned to self-sacrifice. I was learned to sacrifice myself and my identity and my happiness and what it is that I truly wanted. And it's taken me so many years to unpack this. But because I've now seen the truth of it, because with my sexual trauma and how sensitive I am to it, how embodied I've become with it, I understand when my body's reacting. I understand when my mind is. I understand when my heart is. I understand the events that conspire with my womb and around my cycles. I'm very deeply connected to it. And it's because of my trauma that I'm so able to get so deep into this work, as I believe that our life dharmas will really be the fight fire with fire. So whatever your biggest, your hardest or most challenging, your most complex experience in this lifetime for you, that's more than likely what it is that you're meant to truly embody and rediscover and really bring truth and a new light to it, a new perspective. And this is all a part of the new earth, is everything's going to be recalibrated and revisited and relearned and in such a newer way. And I'm just excited to share more of this work and a lot of what I've done to get here into this awareness of sexual trauma. But I'm also here to illuminate the path. I did not rename myself to Kali for a reason. Kali is the destruction of all evil, and she illuminates the path. She has experienced, she's the deity that's experienced lifetimes of trauma of being persecuted and killed for, witchcraft and magic and the actual truth of what a divine feminine is. She was persecuted for that, and so was I. And so for me to really embody that is my life goal, is to truly be able to set the path not on fire, but to illuminate it and to lead down the unbeaten paths that not many have walked down. Those are the ones that are most worth it. And when you do this work, it's truly empowering, and it reminds you of the truth of who you are, and that no amount of fear can really hold you back. Your fear is a part of the ego. It's not you. It's just an identity. It's an attachment. And so when we tell ourselves these things, we're actually creating these limiting beliefs. And when we repeat it, we are affirming it. We are manifesting it. Whatever you speak, you are getting that in return. So be more mindful about it. And men, masculine, may we all just truly learn to embody what it means to hold our own when it comes to desiring a woman or a feminine. May we hold space and consider the words that we use when it comes to wanting to attract another. That is not a way to speak to a woman to get you. And I will continue to speak truth to those who send messages that are not appropriate and that are not wanted. I do not want to be projected at by your sexual fantasies. Sexual desire comes from truth, and it comes from spirit, and it comes from God's source energy. It does not come from lust and immediate gratification and want. Those are low vibrational energies. So I ask that you truly hone in on this perspective shift when it comes to sex and sensuality and honoring the feminine. Honor your own feminine. Honor your own masculine. Heal that aspect. So when you do confront a feminine and you do desire to get to know her and court her in ways that she's worthy of, then you attract and then you connect through that sacred sexuality. And that's what's so beautiful. So let's get back there again. And I hope to continue to make these videos because this was really fun. It's really long. So if you get through this, I fucking love you.